Hi, it's Maisha, and today we're going to do a part 5 of Rating 2021 Mystery Thriller Releases. The first book we're going to talk about is Before She Disappeared. It's about this woman who's not a private detective, but she's really invested in solving cold cases, especially cold cases to do with women of color or children of color. And so she moves to this small town that has a really big Haitian population, and like authorities are really cracking down on them and trying to like deport them. And there are these two girls that went missing, but the police isn't really doing anything about it. So the woman goes there to that town to find what happened. I really enjoyed this book. I read it in January and I still remember most of the plot points. I really enjoyed the mystery. I also enjoyed how the main character kind of like situated herself in this town and became friends with a lot of people so she could help these two girls. I would give it 4 stars, I think. Okay, the next book is The Perfect Guests. It's about this girl in 1988 who's taken in by this family and like something happened. And there was this like, it was like, yeah, she's forced to like partake in this game and some stuff go wrong, but like the game isn't really a big part of it. Honestly, I don't even remember what the game was. So I don't know why like they pitched this game to be a really big part of the book, even though in my opinion it wasn't. And then you like in 2019 you follow this girl, this actress who's struggling and is invited to this dinner party, and she has to play a guest even though she doesn't really know anyone at this party. And then they have to like do this game thingy, like escape room, like not really. And the game part is really boring and you don't really see. And honestly, I don't remember much of the book. I remember the ending being underwhelming. 2.5 stars. Let's move on. I cannot tell you what happened at the end. The next book is Siri Who Am I? It's about this girl who has a concussion, and at the hospital, she wakes up with no memories whatsoever. So she asks Siri who she is, and she finds like a tiny bit of information about herself, and then she like tries to like trace her back to find her, to find out who she is, what she does, and who gave her the concussion. I actually really enjoyed it. This was really fun. This was very light and fluffy. There was this romance that was really cute, actually. She uses Siri to trace herself to this house that belongs to her boyfriend, that she has no recollection of having a boyfriend. And she meets the house sitter, who she has an instant connection with, and they together solve the mystery of what happened to her. 4 stars. I mean, this wouldn't be everyone's thing. Okay, next book. People Like Her. It's about this mommy blogger who is really famous in the UK, and she gives questionable mothering advice. That's the best I can put it. It's also from the point of view of her husband, who can see through the facade she puts out. And then there is this other very creepy point of view from this woman who's plotting the demise of the blogger. It was enjoyable, but ultimately forgettable. 3 stars. Because I only picked this one up because it was getting a lot of hype, because it was one of the, what's it called, Book of the Month picks. That's why it was in every video, and I was really intrigued. But this let me down very hard. The Wife Upstairs. I read this because it was one of the Gabby Reed's book trip picks, and I really enjoyed myself while reading it. It's a Jane Eyre retelling. It's about this dog sitter who kind of cons herself into marrying this rich, handsome dude, but the dude is hiding something sinister. It's really good, really twisty. However, you might see the twists coming. You definitely see the twists coming if you're familiar at all with Jane Eyre. I also watched Gabby's live show with her sister, and it was so fun. I had a blast in the live show. I mean, I didn't comment anything like I read everything. The Push. It's about this woman who has a very complicated relationship with her daughter because she believes her daughter is a psychopath and does things to needle her. And then, like, something really terrible happens, and that's when the thrilling element starts. So, in this book, you see the mother kind of losing herself. She like starts stalking her husband as well. It's so good. I really enjoyed it. 5 stars. Honestly, can't recommend this book enough. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it honestly if you are a mother, a new mother, or like whatever, or you're really attached to the idea of motherhood in general. I wouldn't recommend it because it gets really dark about motherhood and about what's it like having complicated relationship with the kids. Also, read the trigger warnings before you read this because it does get really, really dark. Lie, Lie Again. It's a domestic thriller. It centers around 3 women. One of the women is married to this really handsome guy who is trying to break through and be a movie star. Then there is this college student who is in love with her neighbor's husband, so like that woman's husband. There's also this other woman, Sylvia, who's trying to manipulate her way into getting what she wants, but it's not related to these 2 people at first. And then, like, something happens that brings these 3 women together. It was really, really good. It gave me Big Little Lies vibes. It's not a slow burn though, and it does not have as much of like a character building emphasis. Like the focus is more on the story than the plot. I'd give it a 4 stars. Okay. When will I learn not to pick up any of Tarryn Fisher books? Because at this point, how many have I read? Like 4 of her books, and I have enjoyed none of them. So why do I keep doing this to myself? The Wrong Family. 1 star. Can we move on? Okay, I guess not. It's about this woman who is living and hiding in this family's house. And then one day she overhears this conversation where she hears that the family is trying to hide some secrets, and she like tries to delve into the family and their secrets and whatever. Did not care for it. Girl A. It's a really dark and depressing book about these kids who were abused their whole lives by their parents, and they were kept chained up in their rooms. Um, and like this is like you like see see how they were abused in the past, and also you follow them in the present and see how they're doing. This is not a thriller. It has no mystery. You just like follow these characters who had a really, really rough past. And yeah, I gave it a 4 stars, okay? Despite being severely mismarketed too. I'm pretty sure it was a Book of the Month pick, and they misrepresented what the book was about. Okay, the next book is The Sanatorium. It's about this woman who goes to her brother's wedding in the sanatorium in France, and then there's this avalanche, and then they're like completely shut away from the entire world, and then there are murders, and then there are like more murders that are happening, and the main character has to figure out who is killing them. This was good. This was an isolated mystery. 3.5 stars. I didn't really enjoy a lot of it because I was like there are like some scenes like you get flashbacks or something, and some things are happening and you're just, and then they like don't really tie into the entirety of the story. So that was kind of disappointing because I was really hoping some of the plot points would lead somewhere. They didn't. Maybe it's because it's the first book in the series and something else, and there would be more development in the later books. Who knows? Okay, one of my favorite books of the year, Finlay Donovan is killing it. It's about this woman who gets dragged into this a crazy world. So she was talking to her publicist in a Panera Bread, and she was talking about these murders and like gritty nightclubs. And this woman overhears her and thinks that she is a killer for hire, and she like pays Finlay to kill her friend's husband. And Finlay doesn't want to do it at first, but then she realizes says that she really needs the money. Family is so really solid book, 5 stars, really thrilling, while also being really fun and funny. Okay, the next book is The Survivors. So it's set in Australia, I think. And there was this storm that happened years ago that killed the main character's brothers, and also some people disappeared and some people were killed. There was this murder that happened years ago, but we don't like know what happened because the storm like kind of wiped away all the evidence. And you follow the main character. I think there were more than one character. It's more than one character. I don't really remember. So anyway, you follow like these people will who you know will get involved into some things that they weren't supposed to, and some things that go wrong. It's more of a very slow character study kind of book. Kind of wasn't into it. 2.5 stars. I forgot most of what it was about. Although I will give it to the author that it was extremely atmospheric. Like you felt like you were there and the storm was going to happen anytime. So that was good. So it was like good writing, but I just didn't connect. Like in character-driven novels, you have to connect with the characters, or you wouldn't enjoy the books. And I just not happened to connect with the characters, so that's why I didn't enjoy the book as much. If I Disappear, it's about this girl who's obsessed with this podcast, and one day the podcaster goes missing, and the main character kind of like goes to the podcaster's town to find out what happened to her. And she feels like she's the only one who can find her. It is very weird. Like, I was really enjoying it. Like, the first half, I really, really enjoyed it. When she goes to her, when she goes to the podcaster's house and her mother is treating her horribly. But the ending got a bit too convoluted. The ending was a bit too convoluted, and I was like, what? Like, I assume there was more than one people listening to her podcast. So I don't know how this was not figured out before. Anyway, 2.5 stars because it's confusing. Too Good to Be True. It's about this girl who is who meets this older guy, and they fall in love really quickly, and they're getting married. And then you also follow his point of view from diary entries, and you see what like his motivations are, and they're not pure. It's good. It was fun. I gave it a 4 stars. Looking back on it, it's more of a 3.5. I like the ending though. Not gonna lie, like the ending was unexpected, but I liked it. Okay, my family is so loud, so this is gonna be the last book in this video. It's Who Is Mob Dixon. It's about this author who writes under the pen name Mob Dixon, and she wrote a novel that was like a hit, but she hasn't written anything since. And she needs this assistant to help her like write her new novel. So the main character like goes into her massive estate in the rural area, and you like see it's so twisted because I don't want to say anything at all, because like even reading the synopsis would give a massive plot twist away. So that's like you follow the main character's point of view when she's working with this author who's really well known, but no one is allowed to know the identity of this author. It's really good, really twisted. It was really, really fun. Although I wonder when the author intended for it to be set, like, because nowadays you can't just do what the characters did in the story because of things such as biometrics. Yeah, it was really, really fun. So twisted. I love the ending. Very thrilling too. I would really urge you to pick this one up. but do not read the synopsis. The Goodreads synopsis gives too much away. And since I didn't read the synopsis at all, I really, really enjoyed it. I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much if I had read the synopsis because it gave a massive part away. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I'll go see what's going on with my family.